Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Black Forest coming to you with another market analysis video, currency breakdown. This morning, we're going to be looking at the USDCAD, the US dollar Canadian dollar pair. But before we get started to break down this chart and this currency pair, we have to state that this video is for economic purposes only. This is not financial advice. But we all know why you guys are here. You guys are here to find good, credible Forex content that can help improve your ability as a trader and to help put a little bit of extra money in your pocket, especially in these troubling times. Okay. But now we got that out the way. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. Now let's go ahead and break down what's happening with the currency's fundamentals before we get to going on to what's physically happening on the chart. Now we're in a very unique situation with the USD and the CAD. Once again, the CAD is coming into this week as one of the currencies that's still right there in the middle, lukewarm. Is not too strong, it's not too strong. It's not too weak. And given its relationship with oil, with oil being strong or weak, that's what's going to really dictate whether it goes towards the strong side or the weak side. Okay, so that's what's happening with CAD. Now, USD is also in a non-traditional position with oil because typically gas oil prices do not affect the USD. But when your country's economy is in a state of inflation, cause that's being catalyzed really by high gas prices, then those fundamentals tend to change from traditional to non-traditional in which we do have now traditionally now the oil prices are affecting the USD. And basically it goes like this. If the oil prices continue to drop and gas gets cheaper for everyday consumers, average American Joes, right? Then we're going to see an influx of spending in the stores. This influx of spending in the stores is going to be more money going into the economy. More money going into the economy means the economy is going to grow, and we'll see a strengthening of the USD. That is inverse what's happening with the CAD. If we start to see oil prices drop, we will continue to see a weakening CAD. Okay, in which the CAD will continue to be weak as gas prices start to drop. But if that inverses, if we start to see a pickup in gas prices, right, then we'll start to see a strengthening of the CAD while simultaneously see a weakening of the US dollar because that means that average American Joes, taxpaying everyday citizens, are basically spending more money at the pump, which means there's less money going into the stores. Less money going into the stores means less spending. Less spending means a stagnant or shrinking economy, and this means a weakening of the US dollar. Okay, so and this not only affects just the USD like this, all the major G8 countries, especially the major currencies that we trade, are going to be solely affected by gas. Its economies and inflation is going to be really judged on what's happening with oil and gas. We did make a video discussing this about oil. We heavily strongly advise you to check it out so you can understand the states of the market and what's going to be going on and how oil is going to have an overall effect on the entire Forex market because it truly is. Okay, and we broke it down in that video, so I advise you to check that out. Okay, but now that we got all that out of the way, let us discuss what is happening with the chart. Okay, so basically, price was coming down, price was coming down, price was coming down. We did have a pickup for price that we got here. Then we started to come down some, and now we're basically ranging out, looking like we're going to break towards that range towards the long side. How high may we go? We may get as high as here or even here before we start to range out and have some retracement. And then we'll probably then most likely we will have a continued push up as long as the current fundamentals hold with oil prices continuing to drop. Okay, so once again, what we're going to have here is a push up to this area here, or even possibly this area here before we start to range out and to retrace to go back down to this area here before we have a continued push up. This is all contingent on the current fundamentals with oil, the USD, and the CAD holding as is. Now, if we have a strengthening, we have started to see oil prices going up, a strengthening of the CAD, and a weakening of the USD. What we could have is a push up here, range out before we drop down very aggressively once again. Okay, so basically the scenarios in which if the current fundamentals hold, we will have a push up here to either here before we range out and come back down, or if the current fundamentals inverses on us, we could have a push up to this general area here before we range out and come back down very aggressively. Okay, so I hope that information was helpful for you guys. Happy trading.